My fellow Ambalanders, fellow Ambazonians, this is Dr. Cho Ayaba. I want to thank our people for their steadfastness and thank our forces for their defiance and continuous resistance on the ground. In most liberation struggles, the responsibility to find a long-term solution and a strategy that gets you people from the face of resistance to that of liberation falls to leadership. Leaders are open to be accessible by internal and external stakeholders and assets that can bring some level of support both at the diplomatic, financial, logistics, and domestic levels. And I can assure each and every one of you that for the past 7 years, we have worked extremely very hard to project Ambazonia and to make it an international contender and to ensure that the world is informed, educated about who we are, where we are coming from, what we are fighting about, and what our vision for an independent Ambazonia looks like. A few years ago, I announced that Ambazonia has become an international contender because in international relations, recognized states and those who influence international activities are the only ones that interact. We are a state, but not a recognized state. We are a misunderstood state. We are a state that has been characterized by our enemies as a subservient state to that of La République du Cameroon. So we had a Herculean task unraveling the narrative constructed in the past 62 years and placing ourselves internationally not only as an actor, but also a contender that should be taken seriously. And it will be an understatement to say we prevailed. We have become an international state actor and taken seriously too. Our wit in the way that we've navigated the international architecture has been profound. We have used persuasive approaches. We've combined our posture with our strength on the ground, and we have been able to give the international community an opportunity to make a choice between Ambazonia, that was the first democracy within the continent of Africa, with a democratic pluralism that saw a peaceful transition of power, with a corrupt oligarchy that has been ruled by two tyrants and whose method of international interaction is brutality, genocide, and chaos. We have presented ourselves as a harbinger for stability in the Gulf of Guinea and the future for the generations of Amazonians and Africans who yearn for a new construct that protects our rights, create opportunities for our people. We have been very successful. And this success is attributed to our international actions and the power we've demonstrated on the ground. The next chapter in our struggle will require to up our game on the ground. Relative power alone will not get you recognition. The world pivots towards certainty, and we must amass the kind of power that demonstrates that we are a reliable actor that can protect the international system, that can be the guarantor for international transactions, that can ensure international security. That is why in the last months, I've presented a clear-cut agenda for us to achieve this objective. This will require the combination of our resistance strategy and a liberation strategy. Our resistance strategy is going to remain the block by block within the states, where we undermine the ability of the enemy to function. We continue to delegitimize the system by ensuring that the administrators cannot move freely. We continue to undermine the spies and enablers whose activities give legitimacy to Yaoundé and projects a kind of understanding that because there are certain Amazonians that work for La République, it means we have a divided focus. The resistance strategy is also going to ensure that the enemy does not amass wall from our territory to continue to brutalize us. It projects Amazonian nationalism. Collective resistance on Monday also gives people a sense of war. It gives people a collective sense of being. It let those who are in jail understand that we mean well for them. It ensures that those who have lost their family members know that the reason for which their children died has not been forgotten. The liberation strategy must be the one that consolidate the little gains we make through resistance, ensuring that we can take our education to the level that is recognized internationally and give our people an alternative pathway to acquiring knowledge and ensuring that they can live a life worthy of their humanity. We have to also make sure that our collapsed public health sector is rebuilt and to make sure that our population is healthy. Only a healthy population can be productive to create opportunities for themselves and for the next generation. We have to strengthen our military to ensure that they project themselves as the guarantor of the security of the Amazonian people, build a better relationship with our population, and protect our territorial integrity. For this to really happen and for us to bring back our IDPs into areas of safety and our refugees back, we need to take over states and protect them. That is why the liberation tax is very important. And I want to thank each and every one of you who has continuously paid their taxes, both in the diaspora and on ground. And I am very grateful to let you know that there has been discussions with other forces on the ground to make sure that they can adopt the liberation tax. It is not only going to create a financial opportunity, it is going to create an opportunity for the management of resources in a transparent and accountable manner. It is going to be the bridge between the governed and the governors. Our forces are the only governors for the moment on the ground. Our citizens are the people who can make these governing activities become legitimate. That interaction is punctuated through processes of accountability and transparency. For those who pay their taxes, will require those who receive the taxes to be accountable in the way that they are managed. Somebody asked me, what are you going to show as what you've done with the money? And I have answered this in this way. Even without having imposed taxes, we have showed you people an army. If you doubt it, watch the videos in the last 3 years of October 1. Even without taxes, we have been able to show you people that we did not only call you not to attend schools of La Republic, we provided alternative avenues through which our children to acquire knowledge. It might not be adequate at the moment, but every baby starts with crawling, then limping, stumbling, walking, and becomes a sprinter. And if we refuse to embrace our own and think that we can only consume what has been produced by our enemies, we will never have what belongs to us. We will never perfect it in the ways that we want. Other forces are having discussions to adopt this, and we will be implementing these in the form of a federal system. In a federal system, the federal government oversees certain aspects, but there are specific issues that are implemented by the states. And in the same way, the liberation tax will be an Amazonian issue, where in the process of implementation, the different forces will implement it in the zones they control in the way that they want. For the ADF and the forces under my political leadership, all the funds must be under the control of the Finance Department and the Liberation Tax Council, so that we manage it as a body in a transparent manner. There are other forces that may want to also have their funds under the supervision of the Finance Department under my leadership. Those forces will be treated equally with the ADF. Those forces that want to manage their resource independently will still receive our advice on how they can manage those resources. They can take it or they can reject it. It will be up to them. If our model works, they will see from our successes that it has been a better model, and in the future they will emulate it. My approach to leadership is that of gradualism. I emulate the example of the European Union. It started with 5 countries. It kept growing. You did not have to take away the ability of the German government to function independently to make the European Union to be successful. They coexisted. And today we see that the European Union functions as a supranational body over the different states that are its members. It does not take away the independence of those states to make foreign policy decisions, decisions on trade, decisions on citizenship, and decisions on immigration. Gradualism in building a system of collaboration is the only way that has worked. I know there are people that each time we propose things that can work, they will want to attack it. I want you people, Amazonians, to resist it. Each time we propose what has worked, they try to hurry to stitch things together to, to frustrate you, to frustrate our effort. We have vowed to resist it this time. We will not blink. Any political entity that sees the liberation tax as an option that it loves can enter into discussions with us. We will discuss together and find ways through which we can work together to make it work. Those who think they can duplicate, replicate, and use bully and use public manipulation to undermine it, they must know they will meet my leadership at this moment that will resist it. And I ask you, the Amazonian people, to resist it and reject it. For the past 7 years, we've seen several experiments. There is nothing to show for. What has been given to you is division, is anarchy, and chaos. This is the time for us to move together in a way that works and that the results we've presented to you can be consolidated. I ask each and every one of you to remain steadfast and to remain hopeful. Amazonia has risen. It has risen to fall no more. If you ever doubt it, you must know the chaos on the other side of the Mongo is not what you want. You must know the corruption on the other side of the Mongo is not what you want. You must look at what we were before in the 50s and the 60s, and that we are not trying to recreate something. We are trying to go back to our roots and re-establish what worked for Amazonia and to take it to the future and hand it to the Amazonian people to perfect it in a way that will be better for the generations yet unborn. I thank you all for your steadfastness and for your sacrifices. God bless our soldiers, our prisoners, and our people.